Welcome back. From the broader markets, we were eyeing a few companies. You keep an eye out on Federal Mogul Gods as well. Remember, that's the piston play. If, in fact, we go to BS6 in the next year, that stock should be one of the beneficiaries because they have the technological expertise as well. The stock is up close to 3% today. Volumes just gradually picking up. Normally, there's not very, very high volumes. Remember, in the international companies, there's a change of ownership because Carl Icahn had sold stake out there. So, there will likely be an open offer or a delisting offer that will come about. That's already in the price, because we have a price already that's there. Now you have to see whether or not that gets renegotiated. For the time being, the stock is up more than 3%. In the last 1 month, the stock is up more than 15%. So I think you should keep that one on your radar. Fundamentally, remember, they've been running at 60-65% capacity utilization levels. But FY20 should be the big year if, in fact, we see the transformation to the next stage in terms of BS6 as well. So keep an eye out on that one. But moving on then, Tata Group performance has been mixed, yet it ends 2018 on a stronger and better note. That's the word that's coming in from his chairman, N. Chandarasekaran, in his annual New Year letter to his employees. Now, Chandra says that one Tata policy and the vision of the 3 S's, that's simplifying, synergizing as well as scaling, has worked, and the group has in total spent over $10 billion to deleverage and restructure the Tata Group companies. Kritika is here with all the key takeaways of that letter. Kritika?
In his annual letter to employees, N. Chandrasekaran, the chairman of Tata Sons, has pointed out some key areas. So let's start one by one on the highlights of this letter. To begin with, N. Chandrasekaran has outlined that in total, the group has committed over 70,000 crore rupees. That's $10 billion in deleveraging and restructuring Tata companies, consolidating holdings and acquiring assets. This is to enhance and carry forward the One Tata and the 3S strategy that N. Chandrasekaran had devised. They have also crossed 10 lakh crore rupees in 2018 alone. Now, to outline what exactly has been done, he gives an example of the aerospace and defense vertical, for instance. That has been consolidated into a single unified entity, and similarly, they are reducing subsidiaries, exiting non-core businesses and aligning operations across the board. Over and above that, he's gone on to give an example of how they are ensuring that they utilize the group's strengths. For instance, Tata Motors, in its electric vehicles push, is partnering with Tata Cap for financing and Tata Power for charging infra network, and that is going to be the strategy in the years to come. Now, as we say hi to 2019, N. Chandrasekaran has said that, yes, the new year will bring macro challenges. In fact, he's outlined, and this is very critical, that global liquidity is very clearly tighter than it was earlier, and that is going to be a challenge going forward. 2019 is going to bring with it a set of issues, and with that, of course, is going to be a high political uncertainty with the upcoming elections in India. But he admits that, yes, the performance in 2018 was mixed and there is a lot more work to do ahead. But they are in a better position by the end of 2018 than they were when they started the year.
All right, Kritika, thanks a lot for that. In the meanwhile, last evening we got some data coming in, the fiscal deficit data and the revenue receipts data for the first 8 months of FY19 out. April to November, fiscal deficit has breached 114% of the budget estimate. On that, we spoke with Mr. M.S. Gopikrishnan of Standard Chartered, and he says that the fiscal deficit number wasn't a surprise. Also suggests that there would be some slippages, or rather there could be some slippages in the fiscal deficit. Listen in.
Fiscal deficit number, I think, wasn't a big surprise because all of us knew that there was a shortfall in the revenue collection, and obviously that is being reflected in these numbers. But the farm distress, subsidy or whatever they call it, did come as a surprise. And I don't know what is the final outcome going to be and whether it will be distributed in the current year or whether it will be distributed over a period of time. We have a farm distress story which is going around, and we have an election year. So obviously we are worried about government doing more on the farm distress side, which would put more pressure on the deficit. It's becoming tougher and tougher as we see because we are left with only 4 months, and there doesn't seem to be any pickup in the GST collections. And with bringing more items in the 18% bracket or bringing down from 28% bracket, I think the more and more we think there will be some slippage in the fiscal deficit. Of course, they do have control on few things. One, on the cash balance which they carry forward, and the other bit is on the expenditure side itself. But nevertheless, we think it's going to be tough for them to, not give up on at least a couple of bips, 0.1, 0.2% of slippage.